What's going on, everyone? Hoping you're having a good weekend. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you're returning, thanks for supporting the channel. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like it. So today we have some more Batman related stuff for the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. One of my other recent videos, I did share some set photos from the Liverpool filming, but now there's some other stuff coming out from filming in Chicago. And I mean, there's been a lot of stuff floating around that I've seen, so I'm not going to share like everything. I'm sure you've seen it too. But I do want to talk about some in particular that are pretty interesting, because previously we were kind of, I guess, led to believe or kind of told that Robert Pattinson's Batman is in a different like world from the other Justice League members that we have in the DCEU. So that kind of leads us, I mean, that kind of makes you think like, oh, there's no Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman in his universe. We know that it's going to be a standalone apart from the other stuff happening in the DCEU, but when they started talking about the multiverse and all that kind of stuff at DC Fandom, they made it a little bit more clear that, like, yes, this is a different Batman, which we know that, but they got into a little bit more detail about that. However, a lot of these clips and pictures that are floating around give the impression that maybe these other members of the Justice League, even if they're not like together as the Justice League, these other meta-human superheroes, characters, maybe they do exist in some way in Robert Pattinson's universe. Not that we're going to see them like as, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Ezra Miller as the Flash, Henry Cavill as Superman, etc. But maybe they do exist in some way, because there's a lot of footage going around of people at a Halloween party. They're filming a Halloween party scene for the movie, and there's several people. There's people in different costumes for these characters. So there's some people sharing footage that they got of a guy in a Superman costume. A lot of it is blurry and shaky. It's like taken with, probably a phone camera, and it's obviously nighttime, so it's not the best lighting, and it's from a distance, so it's not the best quality, but it's pretty obvious that it is a Superman costume, or that it's at least a nod to a Superman costume. There's a red cape, a yellow symbol on the back. I mean, it's blue with red boots. Like, it's clearly, you would think that that was a Superman costume anywhere else. There's a few different clips. There's one that's a little bit more zoomed in, and you can only see this guy you can see him a little bit better because he's not surrounded by a bunch of other people. And then there's one that's a little bit farther away, where there's a whole crowd of the extras coming out for the Halloween party. And a little bit more towards the end of the video, you can see him in a blue suit with the red cape. There's an image from the back of the suit where you see the yellow symbol. And so it's pretty interesting. I mean, obviously, if we see these, we wouldn't assume that this is actually Superman in the movie, because it's clearly a costume, like a costume you would buy at a store for yourself, not a suit in a movie. So, and then there's also some other like Easter eggs, I guess you would call them. There's a girl in a Wonder Woman looking costume and a girl in a cheetah looking costume. Now, she could just be, it's fair to say that this could just be a girl in a cheetah costume, like she's just a cheetah for Halloween. But she has on a leather jacket, and I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that there's a girl in a Wonder Woman costume and another girl in a cheetah costume. Also, there are a reporter and photographer in Chicago got some images of Gotham newspaper somewhere. Somewhere they got, like a Gotham newspaper on the set. And people must have really like zoomed in to read this, because it's very, the image and the newspaper itself is like very tattered and like dirty, and it's not clear like at all. So but highlighted at some part in the article, zoomed in and highlighted, is the word metropolis. So obviously they're acknowledging metropolis in this universe. And another section says the bus was like a hive of innocent little faces, it's kind of hard to read, looking up to the skies, fingers pointed everywhere, looking for you know who. So, and then below that you can see also where metropolis, it's like I said, a lot of it is hard to read because it's not like a clean newspaper that you would get from a stand or whatever. It's obviously like tattered and dirty, and you know, it might look like a little, I don't know, maybe it's old or something. But let me see if I can see a date. I don't know if I can. You can't really, it's very hard to see. However, it looks like maybe it was old, I'm not sure, but it does acknowledge metropolis, and you know, this imagery of kids in a bus pointing to the sky looking for you know who. I mean, who else would that be referring to? And metropolis within the same couple sentences of each other. So that's also a reference to the fact that maybe Superman does exist in some capacity in this universe. And there's also some other pictures of like some torn up posters, and a piece of it has the Flash symbol on it. So there's another Easter egg that alludes to another DC member of the Justice League, the Flash. So it's pretty interesting to think about. Like I said, since before we had kind of been given the impression that these other people don't exist. I mean, maybe they just meant that like the Justice League doesn't exist, like they're not together in a group, you know, maybe they don't work together as we imagine them being in a team. You know, maybe they just kind of exist in their own separate, you know, individual, not worlds, but like they're not, you know, they just kind of operate alone or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty interesting to think about though, because if they are showing people in these costumes and having like these Easter eggs pop in newspapers and, you know, posters or whatever, then that's intentional. That's not, you know, I don't know if they're just doing that to like have little Easter eggs to you know, to give a nod to the other DC characters, or if it is meant to show that these characters do exist in this universe, but maybe just not like in the way that we are used to, and not in the way that they obviously exist in, like, you know, Zack Snyder's Justice League and stuff like that, in the other realms of the DCEU. So I just wanted to talk about those a little bit, share them. They are floating around Twitter and stuff like that. A lot of them came from a Twitter account called @SamKMcGraw, and like I said, the newspaper images were from a reporter from Chicago, and his name is @JoshuaMellon. So just to kind of give some credit to those people there. The other ones are just, you know, they're, like I said, floating around and being retweeted and stuff like that. So pretty interesting, but let me know your thoughts. Thanks guys for watching, and remember, don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up if you like this video. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next time.